The Safe Love Podcast is a powerful podcast with honest conversations about healthy and unhealthy relationships. We break down red flags, emotional abuse, domestic violence, trauma, boundaries, and healing. This channel is about awareness, clarity, and empowerment. Follow me for more talk weekly. Save Love Podcast. The Save Love Podcast.
Family secrets. Family secrets. The things nobody talks about. Welcome back to the Safe Love Podcast. I am the host, Phenomenal Mindy. And if you're new here, make sure you follow, subscribe, and share the episode with someone who needs it. Every single week, we talks about a lot of different topics of conversation and honest conversations about healing, relationship, self-worth, and finding peace in places where pain once lived. Today's topic is one that touches almost every single family, but very few people are willing to talk about or even discuss. We are titling this Family Secrets, the things nobody talks about. Every family has a story, every single family. Some stories are told at every holiday gathering, and then there are stories nobody even wants to talk about. The secrets, the betrayals, the addictions, the abuse, the affairs, the abandonment, the mental health struggles, the generational trauma, the things everyone knows happen, but nobody is allowed to mention. Today, we're going to talk about what family secrets do to us and how we can begin healing from things that were never, ever spoken out loud. Sit back, listen, nod if you agree, and let's tap in and let's begin the conversation. All right. So I want to first start off by saying that I'm thankful and I have much gratitude every single week that I have listeners listening to me and people who tap in and interact. And thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that. So I just decided to be on this journey, and I think that this topic is necessary. The family secrets everyone knows about, but they don't want to talk about because we all got some, right? We all got some BS in our family. We all got some trauma. We all got some unhealed wounds. We all got mental health issues in our family. Ain't no family exempt from this conversation, if I'm really being honest. You know, I have somebody in my family with a lot of these issues that I name, if not every single one, if I'm being brutally honest. But silence doesn't erase pain. Many families believe if they don't talk about something, it will eventually disappear. But pain doesn't disappear because it's ignored. It simply changes the shape, meaning it transfers from person to person, different person. You may be 60, your mama may be 80, your kids may be 20. It's transferred. It shows up in anxiety. It shows up in depression. It shows up in unhealthy relationship. It even shows up in addictions. It shows up in emotional distance. Children are often the first one to notice that something about this family dynamic is wrong. They may not understand the details, but they feel the tension in the room. They definitely feel the tension in the room. They notice when people suddenly stop speaking to each other. Everybody got an attitude. Thank you. I appreciate that for the compliment. Everybody got an attitude. They notice when certain things or certain names they don't want, people don't want you to be mentioning in the room. These kids notice that. They notice when everyone gets uncomfortable around certain topics. Children becomes expert at reading the room because nobody is willing to explain what's really going on. And many of the children grow into adults still carrying the questions nobody have never answered in the room. Now, I'm going to say this, and this may piss a couple of people off. There has always been that one person in the family that touched the children. I don't care who it is, uncle, auntie, it always has been that one person that's always touched, or grandma would say, oh, well, don't talk about that in front of nobody. You know he touched so-and-so and so-and-so, but we ain't talking about that. Have y'all ever wondered why or what transpired or what took place that led to that? What led to the silence of the person that's abusing everybody? What led to that? You know? And then the same story passed down from your grandmama to you. Now you pass it down to your children. Now bring that name up around grandma, because grandma don't want you to talk about that. But see, they know what's going on, but they don't want to talk about it. Why is that? Why is the person that's always doing the abuse is the one that's always protected the most? Why is that? Why is they always protected? I don't understand that. You be looking like grandma, Uncle Billy Joe been touching kids for 40 years. Why is we still silent about that? What about the kid that was touched? Did anybody help? And then if you asking too many questions, grandma gonna shut your ass up, because now you dipping in some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm born in the 80s. This has been going on for decades and decades and decades. There have been family secrets. Everybody in the family know. But nobody wants to talk about it. And then you have people that's born in 84, like me. We setting boundaries, and then you wondering why we setting boundaries. Because something about Uncle Billy Joe touching people just don't sit right with me, grandma. It don't sit right with me. And it shouldn't sit right with you. Again, I don't understand why that these type of people have to be protected in the family and not the one that's being abused protected. It makes me question everything. The weight of generation secrets. Some family secrets are carried, like I said, for decades, and some are carried from generation. Maybe your grandma experienced trauma she never discussed, which tap into now your mother has mental issues. Those are the things that nobody wants to talk about. Maybe your father grew up in a chaotic way, but was taught never to talk about emotions. Here's how things get passed down now. Here's how things get passed down from kid to kid. And you trying to figure out how your husbands are disconnected. What was his father? What was going on? Maybe your mother learned to survive by pretending everything was okay. You know? And it's not okay. And I've often been taught you can learn what's going on with a woman by in the kitchen. Because if she in that kitchen, if she whooping up everything and ain't saying a mumbling word, you better check the food. Just being honest, you better check the food. And this is why, for me, I learn certain things. When I'm mad or when I'm a little unsettled, I don't go cooking. Some people say, yeah, it still got to be done. I get it. You said facts. I'm trying to tell you, I get it. So I don't go in the kitchen and start whooping up, because I'm gonna tell you, you could be the best of the best of the best of the best, but if your energy not right and you in the kitchen trying to flick your wrist and whip up some of it don't even taste right. And then you be sitting up there saying to yourself, I know doggone well I know how to cook this recipe. The energy off. The energy is bad. And those survival patterns get passed down. What did he say? But that look, the energy transferred to the food. Look, you didn't ate the food. You wonder why you choking it. You said, "Oh, I'm eating too fast. I ain't got it's going down the wrong way." But in the reality and the scheme of it all, no. And this goes for even when you buying food from the restaurant. You wondering why the energy is off, why your stomach tore up, and you done ate this food before. But then it ain't no food poisoning. You wondering what's going on. Now, come on now. I'm just telling you, when it's off, don't go cooking the food. Stay out the kitchen. Stay out the kitchen. Not because people are evil. It's because the energy that they having and that they giving is passing down to the food, and they still got to feed everybody, is what they thinking. Wounded people often teach survival instead of healing. Let me say that again. Wounded people often teach survival instead of healing. Means it's numb. It's numb in the inside. The pain not there. To them, you functioning every day. You waking up every day, going on about your way. You still got to go to work. Money still got to be made. Bills still got to be paid. But in the inside, you screaming, help. Many families inherit emotional habits they never chose. And I say this all the time, and people think I'm crazy. When you have ancestors that did certain things way on before you inherit whatever they had going on. And somebody made the comment and said, why would that happen? Why would I not be just like my grandma, my granddad? I shouldn't be my own person and not be just. No. It's just the way it goes. You got to prevent it from happening from the next generation on behind you. But then you have people that don't even care. Don't cry. Keep family business in the family is what they tell you. And when you do that, they want you to be tough. And I definitely know that's the thing that I said, men don't supposed to cry. A lie. What happens in this house stays in this house. There was a rule that my mama passed down as well. And to be quite honest, none of the children even talk. None of us. I had to separate myself. And look, separating yourself don't mean that you're a bad person. Sometimes it's too chaotic that you don't even have time to deal with the foolery. You got children of your own to raise. So let me separate. Y'all say family and whatever happened in this house stays in this house now. We need to go outside and get some help because obviously somebody that's inside of the home ain't helping. It's not helping in no type of way. So we got to get over what's happening in this house stays in this house. Go get some help. Signal some help. Send a lifeguard in there. They tell your ass, just get over it. Like you ain't got no emotions either. Tanya says, family still trying to keep secrets beyond that. That's look. And that's what I told somebody over here on TikTok before I started the podcast. That's exactly what happens. Some of them died with it. I have a cousin that reached out to me through Ancestry about a month or so ago, and she was looking for her father. Her mother knew who her father was, but wouldn't tell her for whatever reason, and I don't even know. She's the first cousin to me. Who her father is, I have no clue. And so her mother said she was going to die with it, and she did. So she's left with the wounds of trying to figure out what happened and who my father is and what happened why they ain't together. Those messages become family rules. And eventually nobody remembers who created the rule. You sit up there wondering, wait a minute, now, if my mama telling me, and my grandma said it to my mama, Then you asking your mama, who created the rule? Who created the rule? You know? He said that's in our community, teaching boys not to cry. That's why the kids out of hand. Now, absolutely. Can't control them. So would it be safe to say family destroys the community? Let me know what you think. Would it be safe to say family destroys community? Like, come on. Come on. And eventually nobody remember who created this rule. They just keep following them. Why? Again, I'm going back to Uncle Joe been touching kids for 30 years, but they said don't repeat that. Don't repeat this in my household. And here you are with a whole daughter trying to figure out what to do, but then you don't know what to do because grandma said, don't say no, you can't talk to her. And mama said, that's grandma, so you got to let grandma be grandma. And she says, and then the remaining family continues the secret. Absolutely. But no one knows where the secret started from. Nobody. Sometimes these events isn't what damages the families the most. The secrecy does. Secrets destroys the family. I can't express that enough. Secrets destroys the family. The denial destroys the family. The gaslighting destroys the family. Being told your experience didn't even happen definitely destroys the family. You trying to tell somebody that you'd have been touched, you'll be shunned. You'll be shunned. Being told you too sensitive. Why are you talking about this? You being too sensitive. Being told you're causing problems by speaking up. That creates wounds that run deep. And I'm gonna say this, and this is my business. I don't care who listening. My family, on my father's side, paternal side, there's a lot of incest. A lot of incest dated back to I want to say about 3 generations. And I started my spiritual journey about a couple of years ago. And when I started that, I started tapping into who I am, what is my purpose, what is my destiny. And in doing this, I was able to figure out a whole lot of things and unlock some things that people was afraid to tap into because they would say, do not repeat this story. But everybody knew that we were incest. Even the people that said that we were cousin and, oh, I've been knowing we were cousin and this, that, and the third, they begin to say, oh, no, we don't talk about that. Tanya says, creating a culture of lies, denials, and generation damage. Absolutely. Absolutely. So no one was allowed or still is allowed to talk about the incest in the family. Now, if you talk about that, they're going to be on your ass. But guess what? I don't care. I'm the whisperer. Because guess what? I didn't create the problem. Why would I be ashamed of anything that I didn't even create? But what I am going to do, I'm going to stop it in my bloodline. Well, my kids won't be able to have, relations with their cousins because they don't know, because don't nobody want to talk about it. Don't nobody want to say nothing about it. And I've been knowing, even before I did the DNA test, I've been knowing this for years. When I pull the DNA test, when I look at the cinnamon organs, I'm so good at this, y'all. I'm able to identify, now hear me clearly, I'm able to identify the place holding through the numbers that's inside of the DNA, which is called centromorph. I'm able to identify what relationship we off the muscle. I look at my ancestry thing, or I look at my tree, and I'm able to see what's really going on. I don't care who started it. And even with me looking backwards or going upwards, I still can't even determine where initially it's come from. So imagining in your mind, your aunt and your uncle is also your aunt and your uncle, but also your cousin too. A lot of my first cousins, they don't want to talk about it. A lot of them don't fool with the family. And they would tell me, even with me just meeting some of them new, oh, we don't fool with the Johnson side simply because there's a lot of incest. We've been knowing this shit for years. They crazy. Mm-mm. That creates wounds where it runs deep. And Tanya says, and you wonder why there was so much mental, absolutely, and wondering why kids got autism, all type of mental issues going on. Shit, the bloodline is crossed up. It's crossed. It's crossed up. Some of us double cousins. And when you double cousin, you have more of the centimorgans, which sometimes now can be looked at as you being a brother or sister based upon the centimorgan numbers that's inside of the DNA. Let me leave it alone because see, now that's going into DNA, and I don't want to go into that because that's another topic for another day for another time. But I'm just telling you how deep things run. But if you speak up, you're a little too sensitive. You being too sensitive. You being told you causing problems. I'm already having that label on me, but guess what? I don't give a damn. I don't. And my people, when I say my people, the people that navigate to me, that's who I fool with. If we're not aligned or if we're not in the same space or headed to the same space, it's okay, baby. Yeah, we cousins. It's okay. Hey, how you doing? No love lost. Many people spend years questioning their own reality because their family refused to acknowledge the truth. Many people spend years questioning their own damn reality. And some of them don't even know why they're here or what is their destiny. They don't know. The lines and the wires are crossed. Healing begins when you stop denying what really happened. Grandma gone. You're a family member that's part of the bloodline. Now it's time to straighten the line up. Don't keep talking about it. And then once you keep talking about it, you're not helping the situation. Healing begins when you trust your own experience. Healing begins when you stop carrying responsibility for protecting everyone else's comfort. Stop hiding just to be in the comfort zone. You figure, oh, the less I talk about it, then I won't have to deal with it. A lie. A lie don't care who tell it. Breaking the cycle. Someone has to break the doggone cycle. Someone has to become the cycle breaker. Someone has to decide. This ends with me. I said that years ago when I started my spiritual journey. It ends with me. I don't know about nobody else. Through the partying and the drinking and the laughing and all this and that, the line is still damaged. And there we are as people producing more and more children. Keep damaging the line more because now them kids growing up again, going back to watching why we ain't talking about this and why we ain't talking about that. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it. Now, that doesn't mean exposing every family member now. It doesn't mean you're creating drama. It means choosing honesty over denial. You choose to not be in the damn denial state for 40 years. I've had someone even tell me, oh, I know it, but I just don't say nothing. It means choosing healing over pretending that everything is okay. You sitting up there, y'all sitting up there at a family gathering, you sitting up there eating food. Ain't nobody telling no history. You have a family gathering, the music all loud, everything's going. Ain't nobody talking about nothing about family. All we know, we get together, we drink, we smoke, we party. Nothing educational going on at the gathering. We just a bunch of drunks. It's time out for that. It means teaching your children emotional health instead of emotional suppression. Teach them something different. It means creating a family culture where difficulty conversations are allowed. Look, healthy arguments are needed. You need to know how to do conflict resolution. You need to know how to do conflict resolution. You need to know about where accountability exists. Half of us born in the 80s don't know shit about no damn accountability. All you know to do is blame somebody else. You need to create sacred space where people can be honest without being punished. Where healing is valued more than appearance. Again, you having a party, we all drinking, ain't nothing being taught. All we know, we lit, we having a good time. Breaking cycles is difficult because families often reward silence. We all sitting at the Thanksgiving table. Everybody praying over the food. That's it. I can guarantee you, Juneteenth is coming up. I can guarantee you, ain't nobody finna be teaching nothing. They more focused on the fireworks and everything. That's gonna be popped July the 4th. That ain't for you. Take the time out with your children, children. Even if your children don't even pass information, you the grandmama, take the grandfather, take the time out and have those difficult conversations with these babies. We got to start somewhere, and we got to start now. Breaking cycles is difficult because families often reward silence. They often do that. But healing rewards truth. It does. It does. Educate your children. Stop saying, oh, well, I don't want to read no book and I don't want to read, but then you at a party, we all lit. And we wondering why the community ain't community. There's no sacred space. Everybody lit. We teaching them how to be lit and not educating them on who they are. You need to be telling the kids, what is Juneteenth? Why we celebrate Juneteenth? What is the purpose of Juneteenth? Don't give a damn about no damn fireworks because you're using your bill money to even look. Hello, somebody. We need to start educating our kids. And I'm a big fan of Dick Gregory. I hate that I wasn't educated on him before he passed away. But I'm very, very highly saturated with Dick Gregory. Tanya, you laughing. I'm serious, girl. You know they take their bill money and we finna pop some fireworks. They finna get a garbage can full. But then you can ask line of kids, what is Juneteenth? And I asked somebody last week, what was Juneteenth originated? What day was it set on? Or where was it started at? Some people don't even know it started in Texas. Look, man. Healing doesn't always mean getting answers. Sometimes the people involved will never apologize. Ever. They ain't finna apologize. Sometimes they will never acknowledge the damage either. Can you say you weak, girl? I'm just being honest. We got to stand up. We got to own it. We got to own it. We got to own it. We got to start acknowledging this now. We got to. Your healing cannot depend on someone else willing to be honest. You be honest. That's why I say about the incest in my family, a lot of them deem me as being messy. But again, guess what? I don't give a damn. I am a family whisperer. I am a family whisperer. You can't pull no wool over my eyes. You can't peel me and tell me it's raining. Thank you for sharing the live, Jay. I appreciate it. The realist said no accountability. None whatsoever. If it is accountability, they make it feel like they weak. Your healing cannot depend on somebody else willing to be on. I ain't gonna be on it. They ain't gonna be on it. Why should I be on this too? Come on now. Are we 3 or are we 30? Healing means accepting reality. Healing means grieving what should have been. Healing means releasing the need for everyone to understand. It should be somebody saying what's really going on. So we need to fight all these mental, psychological issues. Like, come on. I said this a while ago. Y'all be wondering, how could these kids be so bad? How could they be, unaliving people? How could they just be robbing people out here doing things that don't make sense? You have to realize within their bloodline, you're carrying blood from your ancestor. I don't care how you look at it. You carrying blood from your ancestor, and your ancestor is you. If you don't destroy that yoke, if you don't burn the end of that line, then the cycle continues. And you wondering why little Ray so goddamn bad, he tearing up iron, destroying iron with his bare hands. Hell, that's Uncle Joe blood. Come on now. That's Uncle Joe blood there. And a lot of us saying and don't even realize what we saying. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. We just say something. Oh, child, you know that's Uncle Joe child right there. Do you know what you saying? Like, come on. If he was a fool, the fool passed. If you don't burn that in, it's passed down. Yes, Tanya. Yes, it's passed down. We got to fix it. We got to correct it. We got to be willing to do that, though. Everybody is worried about their own personal family. Your sister, she worried about her kids and her personal family, her husband. Your mama worried about her and her husband. Your auntie, your great auntie worried about. Nobody cares about the bloodline. Nobody give a damn. Tanya said, we as Black people are so conditioned to trauma, we just don't even react to it anymore. They at the party being lit, Tanya. That's what they doing. They at the party being lit. Teaching how to be lit. I'm not one that's fond of spreading money out. I know some people like to let kids do that, and I don't even know what that even mean. They got the kids, they graduating the prom and spreading money out. Some of them toting that iron and them hammers. What's this for? You should have been toting that back then when Harriet Tubman was trying to get us out of there. You should have been toting that then. I be telling people, make it make sense. It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense. And then you wondering why Lil Ray done got robbed after going live because he done spread it out a whole feather of money. You letting your right hand know what your left hand doing. You're doing too much. Healing means releasing the need for everyone to understand. Healing means building a healthier future than the one you inherit. I'm pretty sure if we could change with our bare hand, I know some things. Look, incest would be the first thing I remove from my bloodline. Huh. So imagine, I didn't know this stuff until I got in my late 30s. And when I began to look at my ancestry test and realize my paw is my paw, but my paw is also my cousin. Let that sink in. I honor my ancestors faithfully. Some of them I don't. And to really be honest, that grandpa, you ain't finna be nowhere in my house. That's a lot of people. That was the thing they did back then. I get that. I get that because the oppressor was trying to help reproduce the people. I get that, but not in my bloodline. Some of them jokers did that shit on purpose. Because after 3 generations, somebody could have got it right. The really said healing means forgiveness and loving more, especially self-love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tanya says, from the slave fields to now, what they taught us, we taught us. Look, you saying a mouthful now. I understand some of it. But 3 generations, come on now. And still going on. Because one of my cousins tried to talk to me. Look, look. I'm a family whisperer. I hold no secrets. If you around here destroying family, destroying kids, destroying all of this, you need to be put on the door. You need to be put on the door. She said parents trying to be friends instead of parents. Absolutely. That's why I said they got the money spread in it because they letting them do it. Because that's the trend. That's the trend. Tell you, I can't make this up. And a lot of them, I keep saying this, deem me as being messy. I have a cousin that I end up meeting probably about a year ago now on Ancestry. And he reached out to me. And again, I'm so good with this Ancestry and the numbers and all that. And I was able to track down who his father was by a process of elimination. So his DNA ended up matching first cousin to me. But what I noticed was my second cousin came back as his niece. And when I saw that, I said, well, damn. My uncle is this man daddy. Now this man well in his good 60s. Well in his good 60s. He made it coming to me several times. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not seeking after anything. None of that. So me being me, I began to do some investigation. So he comes to Memphis. He's from Little Rock. He comes to Memphis, and when he comes, we have talks like we siblings. He looks more like my brother than my brother, if I'm being honest. And so he took the test. He took another one. So then they end up saying, oh, we fabricated this story. Tanya says, how to hear? No, I'm serious. They said he fabricated the story. Now, mind you, his siblings are my first cousins as well. I've never met them a day in my life. I knew of them. I know of them. So I said all this to say and continue telling the story. So as we proceed to mind you, he took 2 tests. And they said we made it all up. We fabricated the story. So the guy wanted to see his dad so bad, and my uncle as well is in his 80s. So imagine you be an 80-year-old being told you have a child. He's married. She's not acceptable to hearing nothing. And big in the church of God of Christ, to be honest. And I don't care who tapping in. And so they say, oh, well, we need another test. Immediately I say, this don't make no sense. He already did it twice. Now you want him to come for a third time. Y'all, when I tell y'all, if you know me, you know. Look, I'm so on it with the ancestry. I ain't been wrong yet. When they match with me and they connect with me, I'm leading them to whoever that people. If I don't know, I'm gonna say I don't know who you know. So anyway, he took the third one and finally got a chance to convince him to take a third one. Y'all, took the third test, came back 99. This man on the third test, he paid about $300. If you know Ancestry, you can catch a sale. You probably do it for about 34. Depends on what sale they run. So by then, I'm furious. I offered to repay because I know my uncle, which is his daddy, was very close with my father before my father passed. And so he said something to me even last week. He said, you know, they say you messy. They say you messy. I laugh because me connecting him to who his father was never a messy intent. Everyone has a right to know who their father is. I don't care if incest or not incest. So imagine a 60-year-old person don't know who their father is. Your mother tell you somebody else, and you know this man here light-skinned as hell. And you know you don't look like them folks. And you know on our side, we black as night. You saying something ain't right. Imagining the pain for 60 years. Why would I stop him from knowing any truth? Why would I do that? They go back to what I said on in the earlier of the conversation. Sometimes they want you to shun and be quiet and sweep it under the rug. And the sad thing about this whole situation, his mama didn't even remember sleeping with my uncle. And my uncle didn't even remember sleeping with the woman. Tanya said, why is the truth message shaking my head? And over here on YouTube, somebody says, sometimes the truth be messy. I don't feel that it's messy. She says, people can't accept truth. They could. And you know what? I knew they couldn't accept the reality of it. Because again, once I pulled the DNA test and pulled the centimorgans down, the man have so many centimorgans that he damn near my brother. I can't make this story up. I can't. So they put this jacket on me that I'm messy. I laugh because who am I to stand in the way of his truth? And I know who his father is, and I just say, no, they don't want to be bothered. If you can get a connection, get a connection. And it's a lot more of them. It's a lot more of them. I can't solve all the cases. I can't. But what I do is, if I can solve who your parent is, I do my best. If I can connect, I do my best. The goal isn't to become bitter. The goal is to become free. She says, when it's all said and done, God sees it all. And I'm going to see it too. And I'm going to help them to see it. I'm going to help. Your father, so-and-so, Mm. Ain't no shame in my game. Again, because I ain't do it. I ain't do it. But I am a family whisperer, though. I'm definitely that. I don't hold no bars. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate the gifts. We got to stop being quiet and sitting on what's actual factual that can help somebody. You don't know how you can help somebody. And I was so glad and honored that I can help him at least try to patch up the wound or begin to process. My father's still alive and he's 80. He may have a little dementia, but I laid eyes on him. That's what family's supposed to do. All that other stuff, talking about bullshit that ain't even got nothing to do with the family. Talking about the show you seen on TV. Now that's messy. Let's sit down and let's talk about how we can bring the family together. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be sitting down and figuring out how we can bring everybody together. And I say this repeatedly over and over too. I don't care about that's just the way it is, people. I don't give them honor. I don't give them a platform. They just the way they is. Guess what? I'm just the way I am. But there should be a point when one person that just the way they is should be sanctioned away from the family. Definitely should be sanctioned. When they causing confusion, being messy for no reason, ain't talking about nothing family-wise. Why does everyone let that one person, oh, that's how she been like that for years. Get her out of here. I'm trying to tell y'all, I have them, look, I have Dick Gregory wrapped up in me, mixed up with Dr. Umar. Y'all got to stop letting them do that. Stop just letting them destroy the bloodline. It's already destroyed as it is through slavery. We got to stand up and voice our opinion of what's really going on. You're a part of the bloodline. Hey, Reese, how you doing? You're a part of the bloodline. Each family member has a duty and part of the family. You don't just be a placeholder in the bloodline. What are you doing to contribute? What are you doing? Are you helping or are you hindering? Are you trying to do some stuff? Or you just want to talk about everybody? Why would I just want to talk about the incest in my family and not try to do nothing about it? Keep repeating these stories, being secretive. Oh, we've been having incest in the family for X amount of years, but we ain't going to say nothing. We ain't going to talk about that. Don't talk about that. Let's get over here. Let's get lit. Let's play the music. We smoking and drinking. And ain't nobody healing and helping nothing. Don't get me wrong. You got some of them big mamas that were some good mamas and aunties. They done died off, baby. Because I love my grandma on my daddy's side. Come on with some of that hoodoo on me. Rub my head, grandmama. I got the pink eye, grandmama. You done took my pamper and put it on my eye. I like some of those. Bring those back. All of that is destroyed. We too busy partying, getting lit, spreading money. On the camera, the teenager, I looked at a couple of videos, you teens spreading money. What do you say, Miss Thompson? You said that ain't the only thing that's pink. Okay. So the goal isn't to become bitter. The goal is to become free. Free the bloodline from bondages. So on this Juneteenth, which is next week, which is next week. We need to be teaching your children history. For y'all that don't know, Juneteenth started in Texas, not in no Mississippi. Thompson, what are you talking about? You say you're going to spread to. What are you referring to? We need to utilize the time that we have, because we only here for a season. And when your season is up, is up. What impressions have you left on the world? What impressions have you left on the bloodline? Let's help to try to get it back pure. You know, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. What do you got to contribute? Teach those babies how to love. Because I buy you a gift doesn't mean I love you. Because I buy you those shoes you want, that don't mean I love you. It's got to be a little bit more than that. It's got to be a little bit deeper than that. And when they tell you it ain't that serious, it is. You don't get to do it over. You only get it once. And when your time up, your time is up. Reese is definitely breaking those curtains. Absolutely. You don't get to say, hold on, I've got to do something before I die. Let me go back. You don't get to do that. She says museum, historical sites, books, etc. Yeah. Absolutely. I was determined in my bloodline, I need to figure out something that was good. Because I said it can't all be bad. I am a descendant. I am a descendant of Robert Walker Jr. Robert Walker Jr. was actually the guy that got crushed in the compactor, which also made the reason why Martin Luther King came to the city of Memphis for the march, for the equal rights, for change. And a lot of people don't know this. And some do. The older people do. So my uncle was one particular day, as my father was a garbage truck operator as well. And him, Robert Walker and his friend Ed Eccles, they were riding on the back of a garbage truck. And if you well born up in the let's say 70s on back, you probably know the story. And so they was not getting equal pay. And so they the Christian Council is what Martin Luther King was up under, and they reached out. They didn't have a union. They reached out, and when they reached out to Martin Luther King and the Christian Counselor Committee, they all decided they would come to Memphis for the march. And my uncle and Mr. Eccles back then was riding in the inside of the garbage truck. And so riding on the back of the garbage truck, inside where the trash be, is something that they had to do in spite the weather. Whatever going on, they had to ride back there. So upon riding, Mr. Eccles' shoe got trapped inside of the compactor. So they stopped the truck. And back then, no workers was allowed to even ride on the front of the truck or sit down unless you was a chief. So Mr. Eccles' shoe got tangled inside of the compressor. My uncle, Robert, decides to jump on the outside and smash the button for the release of the trash compactor. And my uncle seen that he couldn't stop it. It was going on. Now, mind you, y'all, it's raining heavy. So upon raining and upon seeing Mr. Eccles being chewed up, my uncle, noble man, got in the back of the compactor with his friend. Y'all, at first when I read this story, it brought tears to my eyes, and I'm able to tell it now without being so emotional. And my uncle, I can't even say I would have did this, got in the back of the compactor, locked hands with Mr. Eccles, and died with Mr. Eccles. My uncle didn't have to do that. And the compactor began to crush everybody up. Now I'm not gonna tell you the whole story because I know it's my calling to tell the full detailed story, because a lot of people told my uncle's story. A lot of people told the story. I done read several articles about my uncle. There's also downtown in the city of Memphis, there's also a monumental thing of my uncle inside of the Civil Rights Museum. But that was the reason why Dr. Martin Luther King came to Memphis. And so my uncle passed away. And of him passing away, Dreadhead, thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. And of him passing away, there was not proper funds available. And without me saying too much, because a lot of people get too jealous when I say what I'm doing, I'm working on a lot of things to get things that should have been in place. There's no way that my auntie should have had to pay for anything as far as him being buried as being a worker of the city of Memphis. There's no way. She didn't even receive funds or anything. So Mr. Robert Walker and Mr. Ed Eccles died as a noble man. And I don't know about nobody else. I can't say that I would be noble to do that, to die with my friend as I'm watching them crush. I can't say I would have locked hands and sat there. I can't say this what I would have did. I can't say that. So that was one of the noble things that I did find throughout my bloodline, and I'm grateful for that. So with my whisperer self, here I am trying to take on some things and trying to petition the mayor and a lot of more other people to do things for the bloodline. I'm not asking for nothing, but I'm asking for reparation. And I made this comment, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. I made this comment to the group of family members. They looked at me like I was crazy. Mindy, why would you want to do that? And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this last thing, and I'm gonna really be done with it. Back then, where they have the plaque set up, the people didn't want the sign to be exactly where he passed away at. So if you're ever in Memphis and then you go to the site, that is not the actual spot where they were passed away at. It was on up the road because the people did not want the sign to be placed in front of their neighborhood and petition for the sign not to be placed in the neighborhood. Everything I'm saying is actual factual. Look it up. Man crushed in a garbage compactor. Robert Walker Jr. and Ed Eccles. Look it up. She says, may you rest in paradise. Absolutely. And I know I'm called to do what I'm supposed to do. I know I'm aligned with what I'm supposed to do because, look, everything gets handed to me. Nobody else want to take it on. People look at me like I'm crazy. Why do you want to petition the mayor? Why are you asking for reparation? So if y'all see me one day on the news, just know that I'm doing what I'm called to do. And if I don't get this fulfilled before I leave here, I'm passing my torch to my kids. Get it done. Tanya says, you are walking in your purpose. Absolutely. Absolutely, I am. I know that wholeheartedly. Look, it took a while, but I know that wholeheartedly. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Before we end the episode, I want you to think about this question. What truth have you been carrying that nobody in your family talks about? And more importantly, what would happen if you stop carrying it alone? Family secrets survive in silence. Healing begins in truth. You don't have to expose everyone. You don't have to fight every battle. But you deserve freedom from the weight of pretending. Thank you for joining me on the Safe Love Podcast. Thank you for listening in to me. If this episode resonates with you, share it with someone who may need it. I want you to follow me, subscribe to my channel, and leave a review. And remember, you can love your family and still heal from what happened within it. Until next time, protect your peace. Protect your peace. Protect your peace. Honor your truth. And choose healing. I love each and every one of you. Until next Friday, stay who you are. Be true to who you are. I love you.
The Safe Love Podcast is a powerful podcast with honest conversations about healthy and unhealthy relationships. We break down red flags, emotional abuse, domestic violence, trauma, boundaries, and healing. This channel is about awareness, clarity, and empowerment. Follow me for more talk weekly conversation.